Finally got it to work. Hello, everybody. Um, Welcome along. Very more take. Um, Tonight is not where I've been driving now. 30. A lot of people are just taking their driving test, complaining about the theory test. So I thought, whilst I did do a theory, it's years ago, and different can it be? I thought, well, let's give it a go, see if we can find out if it's any good. So here we go. We've got up the DVSA practice test. Car. Going to take a run through it and see if it. I honestly don't know if it will or not. That's half the fun. I haven't prepared for this in any way. Um, Driving and occasionally look at the highway code and see what I should be doing. But I haven't done a test like this since I first passed 7. But let's give it a go. We've got the practice theory test on. Give it a go. We've got 50 questions, 43 to pass, and we have 57 minutes to do it. They're not going to take long. Let's see if we can pass. What does this sign? Ring road. Roundabout. Hope they're all like that. What should you do if the vehicle starts reversing off the road? Drive through. Priorities. Drive through quickly. In practice, sound the horn. Probably the. What could give you? What could? I haven't got my readers on. What could you do to help injured people? Keep them warm. Eat. Move by walking them around, or give them a. Of those choices, going to be that. Probably don't want to give. Probably don't have a warm. Which instrument panel warning light show you that your headlamps beam? Handbrake. Later. Maybe. What should you do when you leave a car on a leave the engine running? Park near a traffic wall. You'll only find one of them if you park somewhere you shouldn't. Switch off the. Leave the. No, lock it and remove the key. Unless you're leaving some. Then you just. Driving towards a zebra crossing. What should you do? Person in a wheelchair waiting to continue on your way, wave the person. Wait, wave to the person, wait, be prepared to stop. Now, what I remember with zebra crossings is you only have to give way if the person on the crossing. So I would be prepared to stop. However, if they were clearly going to stop and wait for them to cross, but be prepared. What should you do if you think of driving a vehicle and forgotten to cancel their indicator? Flash your lights to alert the driver. Sound your horn before you overtake. Overtake on the left if there's room. Stay behind and do. Whilst many of these are tempting, it's going to be just. You're following two cyclists as they approach around left hand. Where would you expect the sign? Now, if they're in the left hand lane, would usually be straight on. However, you should never assume because they may have positioned anywhere. I would say they could be going anywhere. Always with a cyclist, assume they could, even if you're on a straight road, because silly thing. I really don't know if we're going to do this, but we'll try. What colour follows green signal at puffin cross? Is it puffin, toucan? There was only zebras. Those green. I'm going to say flashing out. I'm prepared to be. Which part of the car or where to be? Gearbox, transmission, door locks. Actually, no, this one. The other thing, these two are going. Some of these questions are just daft. They are daft. You take some cough medicine given by a friend. Do it before a car. Your friend taking the medicine. You take. Drink some strong coffee. Able to see affects your driving, or drive a short distance to see if the medicine is affecting your driving. That's known as the Barnard Castle. Anybody hear about that one? It's going to be check the label because you and you alone are responsible. You ask your friend, they are not responsible. Got to do. What should you do if your anti-lock braking system warning light stays on? Check the brake fluid level. Check the foot brake free play. Check the parking brake is released. Have the brakes checked immediately. If the warning light is on, you should have the brakes checked immediately. Picture could be from first time out. What should you do as you approach this lorry? Slow down and be prepared to wait. Make the lorry wait for you. Flash your lights at the lorry. Move to the right hand side of the road. The last three are going to be tempting. Slow down and be prepared to wait. Because you, as a car driver, will not win the argument with a lorry. What should you do when you move off from behind a parked car? Signal after moving on. Around before moving off. Look around after moving off the exterior. Around before moving. If you're not sure, you just need to express caution. I think that's got to be a one. Look around before. Where would you use the right-hand lane on a three-lane motorway? Anytime that you're in London. That seems to be how it works. When you're turning right, you can't turn right off a motorway. Exception that. Change where you actually the passing junction goes off the motorway to the right. But that's not going to be it. When you're overtaking, when you're traveling above the speed limit, when you're trying to save you. Which of these signs mean this is going to be one you either or you don't? No overtaking, national speed limit, no vehicles. I think stopping. How should you use your anti-lock brakes when you need to stop an emergency? Keep pumping the foot brake to prevent skidding. Apply normal braking, but grip when the steering. But grip the steering. Blah. Brake normally, but grip the steering wheel tightly. Brake promptly and firmly until you've stopped. Apply the parking brakes to reduce the stopping distance. This is one that has changed in I've been driving because when I started, no cars had anti. It wasn't they had. So you would do the top one, but this says specifically we have anti-lock brakes, so we actually brake promptly and firmly stop basically hitting as hard as you can. Anyway, right now, these didn't exist either when I passed my test. So this looks like a smart motor. You're on a motorway. What does it mean if a red cross is showing above the hard shoulder and mandatory speed limit goes above lanes? Hard shoulder can be used as a rest area if you feel tired. Well, that's true of a anyway. Hard shoulder is for emergency or breakdown use only. A hard shoulder can be used in running lane. A hard shoulder has a speed limit of 50 miles. You can exclude the bottom two because it's clearly indicating it's closed. The hard shoulder is for emergency or breakdown only. In practice, if you break down on one of these lanes, you are going to end up staying where you are. But anyway, smart motor. I think they're moved, and we should always have a hard shoulder. You just passed your first practical driving test. What do you do if you get 6 penalty points? This is something that's new. When I passed my test, this rule was. So retake on your theory test, retake your theory and practical, retake your reapply for your full license. I believe there's a mandatory wait, so that won't matter. I don't think they're going to make you read just the theory or the. I think it's going to be the whole thing. Because essentially, if you get your 6 points banned, we'll see if we got that right. I think it tells us. You've been involved in an argument. It made you feel angry. What should you do before starting your journey? Open a window, turn on a radio, have an alcoholic drink, or calm down. These You're in a built-up area at night and the road is wet. Why should you use the further along so that you can go at a much faster speed? You can switch to main beam quickly so that you can easily be seen by. As it's a lighting question, it's not going to be about speed. So you can switch to main beam quickly. I think it's seen. Why is it dangerous to travel too close to the vehicle? Engine will overheat. Mirrors will need. View of the road will be restricted. Sat nav will be confused. Again, when I pass my test, your view of the road ahead will be obstructed. What should you do when approaching traffic lights that have red and amber showing? Pass the lights if they're red and amber. Green light. Green comes. Take care because jumping about a bit now. If traffic lights have a fault, they will generally turn off. When that happens, don't quote me on it, but I think everything becomes way. Proceed with. Fun fact also, green doesn't mean go. Proceed with caution. God, things I. You're going to turn left from a main road into a. What should you do? Approach to double. Keep just left of the middle of the road. Keep in the middle of the road. Out to the right before. Well to the left of that. If you're driving a longer vehicle, actually about middle to make. Says you're going into. Yeah, in a car, that's got to be it. HGV. What shape of sign give all? Oh, now we're asking because I can't remember. I think triangles are warning, circles are forbidden. This is an instruction, a notice. I'm going for that. Just as a guess. What is the main benefit of a four-wheel drive vehicle other than they look cool? Improving grip on the road, lower fuel consumption, shorter stopping distance, improved passing. Fun fact: four-wheel drive vehicles can get away more quickly on slippery roads. Stop it. Don't rely on four-wheel drive. Stop you in slippery. You're carrying an 11-year-old child on the front seat of your car. They're under 1.35 meters, 5 inches. What seatbelt security must be in place? Able to fasten their own seat. So anybody over 40 response. Don't quote. Yeah, no, I'm not quoting. Anybody over 40, not that. They're under 1.3. Um, so they must use a suitable child restraint because they must use an adult. If they were 12, if they were 12, I think now, regardless, they must be able to fasten their own. As an 11-year-old, it's your must use a suitable child restraint. Seems like sensible. Clearly seen out. They're not driving. They don't need to. You're travelling towards this left-hand bend. What danger should you be anticipating? Almost anything. A vehicle overtaking you. Their problem. Mud on the road. Would expect that anyway. Road getting narrower. There would usually be a take that. Pedestrians walking. If you wish to tow a trailer, where would you find the maximum nose weight for your vehicle's towing here? Handbook, in the code, in the vehicle registration certificate, in your license. If I was to look for it, I'd look on the data plate of the vehicle, not an option. It's going to be in the vehicle handbook. Highway code will tell you the rule do, but it won't tell you that. Registration certificate might give you the maximum authorized MAM value, authorized mass, but it won't tell you the tongue weight. Oh, yeah, nose weight. Americans call in your license document. When driving along a quiet motorway, which advanced driver assist feature most likely to quick jam assist? Well, we're told it's quiet, so it's not. Automotive. No, he's not. Intelligent speed assist. I do not know what that is, so I'd have to say it's going to be lane depart. Anyway, moving on. Why should you allow extra room when overtaking a motorcyclist on a windy day? The rider may turn off suddenly out of the wind. The rider may be blown in front of you. The rider may stop suddenly. The rider may be travelling faster than normal. Motorbikes are going to be very susceptible to wind. I'm going to say the rider may be blown in front. And that's a bad day for everyone. Why it's important to make full use of the slip road when joining a motorway? Just there's space available to turn around if you need to. You are not allowed to turn around. Motorway, whatever people think. To allow you direct access to the overtaking lanes. In London, that's what they do. Test, it's not what you do. To allow you to fit safely into the traffic flow in the left-hand lane. It's going to be that. When joining the motorways, there isn't always a lot of room at the end of the slip road, so do not rely on that last option. There are many slip roads that come to a pretty much dead end. I'm going to say You're driving on an open road in dry weather. What distance should you keep from the vehicle in front? Distance 2 meters, 6 inches, 2 car lengths. It's going to be a 2 second time gap. On the motorways, I would usually reference point cat's eyes when the vehicle in front passes it. I just count one, and there you go. You're approaching a roundabout. What should you do if a cyclist ahead is signalling to turn right? Overtake on the right, give them a cyclist, cross, or give them plenty. They would usually move over to the but always with a cyclist or another vulnerable road user, could be a cyclist, could be a horse, could be pedestrian. They do walk on the road. Shouldn't always, but always give them plenty. You're following a long vehicle approaching a crossroads. What should you do if the driver signals right but moves close to the left-hand curb? We mentioned this earlier with turning left. Long vehicles require more space to get around the corner, so they'll often create that more space by moving out to the other side of the road. When they're doing this, don't nip down the inside because you'll get squished. You don't win an argument with a 44-ton vehicle. So, warn the driver about the wrong signal, unlikely. Wait behind the long vehicle. Report the driver to the police, there'd be inundated. Overtake on the right hand side. It's going to be, I think it's going to wait behind. What colour are the reflective studs between the motorway and the slip road? Should know. They are not red. White is between the lanes. Amber. I'm going to say green. Should know that. See them often. You're approaching a traffic light. The red light is showing. What signal will show next? Red and amber. Oh, green alone. Approaching a traffic. I'm having to ask this. Green alone. Red light showing. It's green. Green alone. Moving on. An incident, somebody suffering from severe burns. How could you help them? Apply lotion to the injury. Burst any blisters. Remove anything stuck to the burn. Douse with clean, cool water. This is one of the side questions. So, if you come across such a thing, first thing you want to not do not want to burst any blisters. You don't want to be applying any lotions. Do not pull anything sticking to the burns off because you'll rip the skin off with it. So it'll be cold water. Cold water. Following a collision, a person has been injured. What would be a warning sign for shock? Flushed complexion, warm dry skin, slow pulse, rapid. A lot of, let's say, rapid shallow. On isn't qualified in any way. You wish to turn right ahead. Why should you take up the correct position in good time? Allow the drivers to pull out in front of you. Get a better view of the road you're joining. Help other road users know what you to allow other drivers to pass. I'm going to say, because this is a kind of a test scenario, help other road users do. Most of the time when I'm driving, you pick up what people are doing by where they've positioned themselves. So I'm going to say that. What does this sign mean? Off verges entrance. Bumps in the seem to be massive pain in them. Anyway, moving on. What should you do when passing loose sheep on the growing up in Yorkshire? Briefly sound your horn. Bad idea. Go very slowly. Pass quickly but quietly. Herd them to the side of the road. No, just go slowly. They'll get out of the way. What does this curved arrow road mark? Looking at the diagram, what we've got is solid line other side of the road and a dashed line our side. Which means we can cross that solid line. However, on the coming the other direction, they can't. That line means we need to get over to the left because we're about to have double solid, or it's about to swap over, so our side is not allowed to go. Probably because the road's such a way that we see around the corner. Anyway, let's see what we've got. Heavy vehicles should take the next road on the left to a weight limit. No, no weight limit. If there was that, there'd be a weight limit posted. The road ahead bends to the left. That's not what this one. Overtaking traffic should move back to the left. Yeah. The road ahead, amber to the left. That would be indicated with the sign saying adverse camber, and we can't see any sign. How can you use your vehicle's engine to change your speed? This will be less relevant to electric vehicles. By changing to a lower gear, selecting reverse gear. That will affect your speed, but only the once if you're moving forwards. By changing to a higher gear, by selecting neutral. We can discount selecting neutral because the engine will not be driving the wheels. We can discount, though we're not told which direction we're going, let's just knock on the head the idea of reverse. And so it says control speed. Now, it's going to be select a lower gear, the engine braking. What should you do when you park at night and the road has a 40-mile-an-hour traffic? Leave your lights, get headlights switched on, park near a street. I'm amazed by how many this, but leave parking lights switched on. Look in the manual for your car. Sometimes on the German things later on at least it's in the manual. If I get that wrong, it'll be embarrassing. You're looking for somewhere to park your vehicle. Neither you nor your passenger are disabled. What should you do if the only free space are marked for disabled drivers? Use one of these spaces, park in one of these spaces, but stay with your vehicle. Use one of the spaces as long as one is kept free. Wait for a regular parking. This is one of those ones where practicality. Yeah, there is a right answer here, which is to wait for a regular parking space. If you or your passenger are not disabled, you have no right to use it. And you shouldn't. Simple answer. So wait for a regular parking space. You're driving on the motorway in windy conditions. What should you do as you overtake a high-sided vehicle? Back to the question about that motorbike earlier on. So as you overtake a high-sided vehicle, increase your speed, be wary of sudden gust. Drive alongside very closely, expect normal conditions. We're told in the question it's not normal conditions. Drive alongside very closely. We're told we're overtaking it. Also, you should increase your speed. You're told in the question you're taking it. What do you do as you take? It's going to be aware of the wind. You're being shielded by the big vehicles, and you'd be amazed at what. Right. Just play when you're ready. What we're not going to do, I'm not going to watch the video because it probably won't come anyway. But we can see what we have here is vehicles approaching a big box junction in the middle. There are some arrows painted on it. There's some trucks coming to it. Some of the ways can point, but you can't see whether. In fact, we can. Over here, there is cycle. an advanced cycle stop over here. And in the box, we have certain arrows painted visible, and we have a graphic a bit close. Anyway, so we won't watch the video because it won't play anyway. When you're waiting, when are you allowed to wait on the yellow grid marking? Yellow grid markings are a box junction. You are not allowed to enter a box junction and clear unless you are turning right. Okay, so you can enter the box junction, wait for you. So I'm going to select that. When you're going straight on, no. Turning left, no. Never. When you're turning right, you're allowed to enter. Why did the lorry start turning so late? Because the lorry needs room to turn. We have mentioned this in previous questions. It will swing wide to make it round. They're articulated. They can't drag their trailer curb. They have to put the vehicle beyond and then bring it round. Beyond where they're turning and then bring it round. So let's check the other options just to make sure we're right. Because the driver was late checking their mirror. No. Because the driver was making room for a cyclist. No. Cyclists around lorries are very dangerous. In fact, cars around is quite dangerous. The blind spots on, be aware of that. If you can't see the driver, they can't see you. So yeah, needs more room to turn. Because the lorry set off too fast. Lorry. When may you wait in an area marked with a cycle? As I've already mentioned, they are the advanced cycle stop lines. I don't know what they're called. But you can't stop in that box. As a car, you must stop on the first line and let cyclists ahead. So, that being said, when you've checked your mirrors for cyclists, and so when there are no cyclists in the marked area, when you've turned on your hazard warning lights, well, no. When the traffic lights change to amber after you've passed the first line, that would seem the only sensible option. And then we've done our. Ooh, we passed. Yay! Okay, so we got enough to pass the test. Let's see what we got wrong. Because I'm prepared to get things wrong. Attitude. So we got which colour follows green on a puffin? Ah, I'll have to. Puffin cross. I don't. Signs. What shape are signs that give orders? I wasn't sure of this at the time. I think I got it right, but I got it wrong, but for the wrong reason. So orders are given by circle. What else there? You're approaching traffic lights. Red light is showing what will show next. Red and amber. Should know this. I should have known that. And that's all we got wrong. So it was fun to go through it. It confirms that even after years of doing this, I still need to know more. Still need to learn more. And there's things I just don't know. So I will be going back to the code and having. It's embarrassing. I should all of. Well, hopefully, if you have joined us, let's wander through a theory test. It's been helpful. Old person who's done this for a while, yammering on about things. I can do these again. Go away and actually do some reading before I do it. If it is helpful and you have made it this far, do let us know in the comments. You are taking your driving test. Good luck. Things are so much more used to be. And the thing to remember that once you pass your test, that's not when the learning stops. You're forever learning. Anyway, there isn't very much more to say. If you are preparing for a test, best of luck. If you've passed your test, keep learning and stay safe out there. All the best. Next time. Bye.